What's up, YouTube? Sorry that I haven't made a video in a long time. I've been kind of busy with traveling with Australia, coming back, St. Louis, coming back, exams, midterms, everything's going on right now. Kind of got a little bit of a break, so I decided I'd make this video for you while I have a chance. Kind of get some content out there so you guys aren't, leaving me high and dry before I head out for a week and a half of action-packed, just stuff. Like I got exams. I'm probably skipping League Cup so I can study, that kind of stuff. So if you guys don't know already, this is the list that I played to get top 32 at the Colinsville Regional Championships this past weekend. I was originally set on playing a list very similar to Pablo's, the Pikazek with a 1-1 Jolteon. But after, thinking about everything, and I went to bed and I woke up, this was one of my options, and so was Passimian. I woke up and I decided I wasn't going to overthink things, and I just went with this deck. It's very linear in nature and what it's trying to do, but it has a lot of options along the road to get there. And Jirachi is one of the most consistent cards in the game, coupled with Jolteon, which is a big heavy hitter with free retreat for a single energy, is also really alluring to get that snipes onto the board. I was hearing a lot of Vileplume rumors and stuff like that, so I didn't really know what to expect. A last minute inclusion slash a card I wasn't gonna cut was a Zorora, because it's a heavy hitter first off with Plasma Fists, and secondly it also just Thunderclap Zone is really important for the mirror match, especially with Absol in play, because once you run out of your switching outs, the game pretty much becomes the switching outs are very important for that, because you can stick your opponent's Zapdos active or something like that. So people have rehashed the deck, re-in and re-out. I'll just explain some of the newer fun stuff about the deck. There's a 2-2 Jolteon line. So the deck is heavy Jolteon focused because Electro Bullet pretty much single-handedly can win the mirror match, because you can go Electro Bullet for a prize, Swift Run for a prize, and then back to Electro Bullet or Head Bolt for a prize. And once Jolteon's taken 3 prizes, the game is pretty much sealed up, because he's unkillable naturally. But the key is, with the 1 of Max Potion Tech, this lone Jolteon can now take a 4th prize. And, I mean, the game is just done there. The mirror match is one of the best matchups for this deck, because of that simple inclusion. The deck doesn't play Shrine because naturally you're more of a Jolteon-oriented deck. It's got all the other, fun toolkits that any other Jirachi, Zapdos variant may have, except the one thing that my list slash Pedro's list, I worked with this, Pedro gave me the list, that may be a little different, is the 4 Volkner. The 4 Volkner engine is a little slower than other engines, but given the nature of the deck, you can pretty much set up a Jolteon in 1 turn, you can set up a way to attack with Zapdos in 1 turn, you can get your Electro powers, you pretty much just need energy to keep attacking. The Volkner engine does make your matchup against Zoroark with the Muck much, much weaker than the original version with the Shrines. But that all being said, the matchup is already pretty bad, so why are you going to try to fix that matchup when it's already close to... It's a very negative matchup, sorry. And why not work on fixing making your other matchups better? Because this variant with the 4 Volkner makes your mirror matchup better. It makes your Pikazek matchup better because you can get the exact pieces you need every turn. And you can also it makes your Ultra Malamar matchup much, much better, which were the 3 matchups that, 3 of the big 4 having those matchups refined, and taking a loss to 1 is completely fine in my books in a big regional like this. You might have a good day, you might have a bad day. That's just something that's unavoidable, and you just kind of let Tom decide your fate. So I went into the tournament, I was like, whatever, we had 1,056, I believe, and I was like, man, getting to day 2 is going to be somewhat of a feat, and then once I'm there, making some sort of a dent in the tournament itself is also going to be a feat. So the first round I go up against a Honchkrow Tapu Koko spread-based deck, and I pretty much very smartly just managed my board with the 1 Jirachi and 1 Jolteon pretty much, and just kind of ran through his entire board using Electro Bullet and Head Bolts, and he didn't really have a response. Besides Honchkrow's attack, and then I just max potioned the following turn with a Volkner. And then the second game was somewhat of the same. I think the deck just wasn't good. So I took a quick 1-0 there. The second round I played against Bert and Robin's Zapdos baby beasts list with a couple of changes. It looked like. The first game I took a pretty hard L due to prizing. I was setting up for a Jolteon play, but I failed. I like drew into the Jolteon along those lines and failed to realize the other one was prized, so I couldn't make the play I was playing for in one turn that I was setting up for. I was trying to, I think, use the GX with nothing else in play, take a quick two prizes or take a quick prize, and then at that point he couldn't do anything, and I'll take the last prize, which is what I had set up for. But because of how my hand had shaped up, I ended up not being able to do that. The second game, I pretty much set up close to perfectly, and I just ran through him. I skipped like his beast sledgehammer turn. No, I used the GX in the sledgehammer turn. And he didn't have a Guzma, so I pretty much was effectively I nullified it completely. And then the third game was where something very interesting happened, where my opponent, I once again did the same thing with the GX, and I was at 2 prizes and he's at 4, and he needed a Shrine of Punishment to knock me out, and he drew for turn, threw up the Beast Buzzwole, threw an energy, I don't know, Beast Energy, Choice Band, and Cynthiad, and he didn't hit the Shrine, I was pretty sure, because he was taking a lot of time to make his decision. And then he was Viridianing, and then I noticed his hand getting closer to his deck, so I stopped him quite immediately, honestly. And I pretty much just like grabbed the top card. I counted his hand immediately, grabbed the top card because it was a skew, and I flipped it over and just said, this is a Shrine. And I called the judge, and he pretty much confessed to everything. So pretty boneheaded play on my opponent's move to try and cheat against me. Like, the game was far from over, and he could have shrined at any given point. Granted, I didn't show the max potion in the first 2 games, so I had that, but just you hate to see it. Game 3 went up against a straight Zapdos deck, and he just did not set up either game. Like, I just chased the Jirachi down, and then, like, he didn't open Jirachi. We both didn't open Jirachi either game, but, like, he went for the nest ball into Jirachi both games, and then passed. No supporter, like, nothing turn 1, and then I just went, like, nest ball, like, attached Guzma pretty much both games, and just killed the Jirachi. And then he, like, tried to throw up, like, the Zapdos, and the games ended, like, 2 minutes later. Both games were quick because he kind of didn't have anything. And I just won. So now I'm 3-0. I go up against the first familiar face of the evening, Alex Kreckler. We faced off many times, but the matchup was a lot more polarizing in my favor with Greninja versus Bees in the past. But this time he was playing an Ultra Mally that, played Acerola. The first game came down to 2 Stellar Wishes with about a 12-card deck, and with 2 Guzmas in the deck, and I needed to hit a Guzma, 2 or 3 Guzmas in the deck, sorry, and I hit a Guzma to pretty much win the game, like sealed up. But if I don't hit it, I put myself in a very precarious situation where the game could go either way. And due to missing the Guzma that turn, I wasn't able to take 2 prizes and even it up, and pretty much that meant that I lost. I pretty much just lost off the back of that. I win the second game very quickly, and the third game I open the Zorora, which was really unfortunate, because I opened a GX, and then when I used Jolteon's GX to take 2 prizes, or a prize or something, the Zorora was on the bench for a Guzma play involving the Ultra Necrozma. Oh, he played Beast Rings as well, yeah, that's right. And so, like, I think he had, like, a 4-card hand, and his 4-card hand, he, like, when Jirachi threw it up, he used Jirachi, he hit the Beast Ring, he went Ultra Necrozma, Beast Ring, attached for turn, or a double Dynamotor or whatever, and then Guzma was, like, pretty much his entire hand to kill the Zorora, and I was like, oh, that's really quite unfortunate that happened. But I can't do anything about that. I opened a bad starter, and the game was decided because I was about 1 prize short of closing it out, unfortunately for myself. So I go down to a 3-1 record, and then round 5 I go up against a Zoroark, my first of the evening. I'm pretty terrified of the matchup. I don't know how it's going to go. From a little bit of the testing, I feel very, very unfavored. So I just say whatever. Like, I'm going to let fate decide how this ends up. And game 1, he opts to go for a single Zorua, like off the Elm. He goes turn 1, Lily for Elm, Elms for like Ditto, Rockruff, and like a Zorua, and open like a Railu. And I just went, my hand was pretty suboptimal, so I just went with the Guzma, and instead of killing the Ditto, like I should have probably, I went ahead and killed the Zorua because he attached a DCE to it. And then he evolved into Muck, and then he passed, and then I drew, and then I switched, and then brought back up Zapdos and killed his Ryulu. And then he threw up the Rockruff, and then he cornered my Zapdos, and then I Guzma'd the Muck, and just hit it. And then he drew, and then he conceded that game, which I think I got pretty fortunate that his hand was kind of poopy. And then the second game, he turn one Lilied for 8 with a card in hand. So like he counted the 8 cards out and drew them all, and we both just stopped and looked at each other, and then he called a judge on himself because he knew what he did. And this was not his first offense of the days or like of the tournament or something, so he got a multi. So I only needed to take 2 prizes, which I can do. I can take 2 prizes. That's nothing for me. I can do that, and which I just did. I just killed 2 small boys and the game ended right there. So I got pretty lucky on that one, I think. I don't think I should have won that matchup. But yeah. And then so 4-1. And I went over to Zoro Rock Lucario the following round, who played Acerola, like heavy Acerolas, and just he had the whole kit and caboodle. And yeah, I pretty much lost the first one very barely. I was like pulling up that muck, trying to stall it out for the game. And he, I think, played Rainbow Acerola, I want to say. And that just pretty much sealed it up. And the second game just was not pretty whatsoever. Didn't open well. He opened pretty much close to perfectly with a bunch of nest balls, Lily. Like it just didn't go well. I scooped that one up pretty quickly, and I just went to go have a mini lunch break. And then the 7th round I went up against a Pikazak. Now I'm do or die, so I can't afford to lose a game. But if I win 2 or something, I get points at the very least. I don't really know. There's a lot of people. So I go up against Pikazak, and both games, the first game he just stumbles really hard and can't do anything, and I win. The second game he sets up and full blitzes and gets energies onto the board, and he's like, do you have the Coco response? And I have the Coco response. And it's not over yet because he can full blitz my Coco back, which he does. But then I just hit him with the Zapdos, and then I hit him with another Zapdos because even if he tag bolts, he's only taking 2 prizes and he has 1 left. So the game is still, mine. Like I think I did like choice band electro power and hit him for like 140 or something. Or 170 right there. And I was just like, what do you have for me? So I win that. And then I go up against round 8. I went up against the Beast Box Zapdos list again. The first game I prized a crucial piece. I prized a Max Potion that left my Jolteon with a lot of damage on the board. And I'd taken like 2 or 3 prizes, and I was trying to find that Max Potion. I couldn't in the first 3 prizes, which led to my Jolteon being knocked out eventually for the game. But the second and third game, I just chased Jirachis, and my Zapdos, or my Jolteon plus Max Potion combo put in the work that it needed to, and it carried me to the win. And now I'm at 6-2, and I have a very interesting sort of choice to make. I can either ID into this top 100 and like something, I am estimating a 104, 105 day 2, or I can play it out and try to get myself some more points. In the process, if I lose, there's a chance that I get the same amount of points that I would have gotten regardless. If I make day 2 and I have a bad day 2 personally. So I kind of say whatever, and I sit down, and my opponent is someone one of my buddies knows from the Virginia area, and it was his first time being in a situation like this where he can ID into day 2. He's never made day 2 before, and so you don't have to answer this question if your opponent asks it, but my opponent was very willing to. I simply said, he said, are we playing or are we going to ID? And everyone next to us naturally is IDing, and I said, show me a Zoroark or a Lycanroc, and you have the tie. And he didn't have to show me either. He could have just beaten me at the time of the table, but I think we were both very spent on the day, and he just straight up pulled out his deck, showed me a Zoroark very quickly, and I said, yeah, that's a tie. Because I knew the matchup was bad, and I think that's the only thing I didn't want to face. And if it was anything else like a Pikazak, maybe a Zapdos, or like maybe a close friend, I would have ID'd. For what it's worth, that is the correct move you should be making if you want to win the tournament in a situation like that, not just get points, because you could be playing an extra 6 hours the following day to get that top 128 points regardless. And I mean, getting top 64 is no better. It's only 10 more points for another 6 hours of work. But those 2 extra match points could mean the world the following day. And it would have in my case. It would have definitely made a difference. So we go into day 2. Everyone goes back. Reprise come back. It's a top 101, I believe. And then there was either a drop or like a DQ or something. There was two people who just vanished. I don't care about the details. They're just gone. So I come back, and the first round I hit Lapras Quagsire. And it's not like Naganadel or anything. I just it's just Lapras plus Quagsire. I make a really boneheaded move for getting that Volcanion. Like, I don't hit for weakness with Zapdos. And I have to 2-shot this Volcanion Prism, which he opened both games. Strange. But I just won anyway because he can't really do anything. Like, his deck doesn't do anything. It just dies to my entire deck. Like, my one Jolteon, I think, took all 6 prizes both games. Yeah. So then I go to round 11 against Pikazek. And both games are very similar. He goes for the full blitz, puts it on the active pretty much, and just goes, do you have the Coco response? I had the Coco response both games, and he pretty much conceded immediately after, because he was playing a sort of turbo build, so he put all his eggs into the one basket, and just said, like, do you have it? And I was like, I have it both games. My starts were fortunate enough where I, like, opened the Lily. He put up Radiant down for me, I believe, one of the games. I was able to just, like, set up the Coco Prism into the, I just had the whole kit and caboodle. Like, one of the games he even put down Thunder Mountain for me, so it was a lot easier to get that combo off. But, yeah, it was just pretty one-sided. The following round, I hit an Ultra Mally again, and the first game, I think I missed another Guzma or something game 1, and I barely lose. I just remember I was a little frustrated at that loss, and then the second and third game, I pretty much set up impeccably, and the Ultra Mally was a little slower than it's supposed to be. So what I did is instead of targeting the Malamars, I should have just kept bringing up the Ultra Mally and just smacking it, and I just said, like, take a hit, go. And, like, I'd snipe it immediately with Jolteon. He would go, like, 100, and I would go GX, and then he would go, like, bring it up, like, a Marshetta pass, and then, like, attach to one on the bench. And then I would go, like, Guzma that one, like Max Potion my Jolteon or something, and then, like, hit it with Zapdos, or just Coco killed it. Or he put the energy on the board for me, so I think I Coco killed it one game, and then one game I just, like, had the insane hand of, like, Choice Band, like, double Electro Power or something to kill it with Jolteon again. He just conceded both games. So now I'm 3-0 on the day. I need to get to 5-1 or 5-0-1. And I go up against Otto playing Wailord, Hoopa, Vileplume, the same list that Riley played to a top 4 finish. And so I was talking to Otto a little bit before the game, actually, and it was kind of funny how he was like, I think I have an answer to this deck. Like, I think I know what we can do to stall it out. Like, even though they have the Jolteon to deal with our Vileplume, yada yada, etc., etc. And he dragged up my Zapdos pretty early, and then I just benched a Zorora. And he pretty much his face, he knew that I could pretty much do whatever, and as long as I didn't overcommit energies on the board, like, if I had an energy towards the end of the game, even if he cold crushed, I could just Zorora and put all the energies back onto the board. And that's pretty much how the game went. I just kind of, like, just kept hitting him with Headbolt, and he would either Max Potion or Acerola or Plumeria, and if he Plumeria'd, I'd just attach again and do it again. And if he didn't, I would just, hit him, and if he brought up a hoop, I'd just go Zapdos Pass, like, hit it with Zapdos Pass, and the Zorora just pretty much made it naturally impossible for him to do anything. And so I take that series, leaving me with a game left to go before I can potentially make top 8. And I go up against Zach Lesage, the eventual winner of the tournament. Game 1, I don't open something that's Jirachi. He let looses me, and I pretty much lose. Game 2, I absolutely roll him. I don't skip any B-string or anything. I just kind of, like, brute force my way through the matchup with Jolteon. Like, I brought up a Blacephalon early, and I, like, hit it with Zapdos, and then I set it up for a Headbolt, and then, or the GX, I don't remember exactly what I did, and then I killed another one with modifiers, and then the game was pretty much over at that point, because he couldn't really do anything. And the third game, I opened, I think it was Zapdos, and then he let loose me turn 1, and my hand was completely unplayable. I think it was, like, Energy Nest Ball, and then I passed. Yeah, I think that's exactly what I think. I did energy Nestball pass, um, and he killed my active because he had the beast energy in his opening hand too, and it was not pretty to watch. And then so I now have another win in scenario, win in bubble technically, but my resistance was good enough to the point where I would have been the in. Um, and I had a lot of good matchups in my bracket, and only one bad matchup, which was Wesley Hollenberg playing Zoroark Lucario, and I hit Wesley Hollenberg playing Zoroark Lucario. And the icing on the cake was that he played two Grimer. So game one, I just lost. Game two, he pretty much judged me into the modifiers I needed to Coco him. Um, and then game three, I just lost. Yeah, like it wasn't. I couldn't do anything. Like the muck just was too much for me to handle. And Ace Roller was turn after turn. Like I just needed him to miss Ace Roll for one turn. I think at either of the games, game one or three, and I could have won, but he just didn't. And it's just, I mean, it's how the matchup goes. Like he just does what he does better than I do, especially with the muck out. So that being said, I did finish 22nd. I picked up a ton of points and ton more points, and yeah, I'm almost close to 1,000. Feeling pretty good about myself. My marathon is done. I've got a lot of stuff to take care of now, school wise, before I head over to Toronto and then home. Um, so I'm pretty excited, and so I mean, thank you guys again. Sorry I droned on a little bit long on this report, but thank you guys again for this constant support, the constant good messages. A lot of people came out to me in Colinsville, a lot of old friends, a lot of new. It was very comforting to hear your words. I truly do appreciate it because sometimes like I'm playing so much and like I beat myself up more than anybody else, and sometimes it's like I feel like it's just time after time I go and like time after time it's like I'm so close. I feel like I could do better and I could be better for myself, but um knowing that you guys all have my back and that it's not just me and I'm not alone in this journey is very comforting to know. A lot of people came up and told me like that they were there rooting with me when I played my game and that kind of stuff, and like genuinely like thank you, like honestly thank you. I really do appreciate it. And that all being said, leave a like, subscribe. You know the drill. I'll be editing the Australia vlog sometime this week when I have time in between exams. Um, that should be up sometime soon. I'll probably do an expanded deck video or two. Probably the new Archies. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to rehash old boring ideas, so I might try to find something fun like Hitmonchan. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I appreciate it.